Live now. Is that okay?
Oh, yes, very okay.
So I'm going to make you co-host since
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good day. I am Victoria Inebeli, and this is another office hour with me. So as usual, I'm going to be addressing questions I got through the form, right, to help you guys understand things better. Right? So I'm going to start with questions from the form. Right, this office hour is about 1 hour, so I'm going to make sure I utilize the time well. So yeah, I have a question that says, how do I add an image to CodePen? Because of the tribute assignment that I cannot add images to CodePen. So I'm just going to show you how. It's actually a tribute assignment. So I expect that you're probably putting in the details of somebody from the web, right? So the way CodePen works, like I said, CodePen just gives you an environment to code in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. It doesn't give you the permission. It doesn't give you the ability to add extra files. And these extra files includes pictures or any other file you want to use in your documents. So the way it works is you have this file online already, and then you just copy the link to the file, right? So and you just copy the link to the file and then add it in your image tag, right? So if following that process, I'm just going to add an image from the web, right? I'm just going to add an image from the web. I'm just going to add an image from the web. So I'm going to go here. So depending on who you are writing about, you can just get the person's image online. So let's say I want to write about myself. So I'm just going to search for Victoria Inebili on Google, and hope I'm not echoing again, right? So I hope you all can hear me. So I'm just going to grab this picture of me. I'm going to right click on this. So when I right click on this, I can copy image address, right? Copy image address is different from copying the link address. Just copy the image address directly. And I can use this in my CodePen, right? So since this is an HTML environment already, I'm just going to type in my code directly. So I'm just going to have an image tag there. And you know the image tag has the source attributes, right? So the source attribute will contain this link that I've copied from the web. So I'll just contribute to paste it. And then I'm going to put in an alternative text, right? And say Victoria and Evelyn, just in case my image does not show. I'm just going to close this. And you can see that I have my image Daniel, right? So for you to add an image to CodePen, you just need to copy the image address from the web, right? Or you can upload it to maybe on any online service you want to, and then get the link there. But if you're writing some about a legend, maybe a popular legend that people know, so you can just search about them. Peter Obi, you're writing about Peter Obi, so you can just search Google, right? When you search Google, you can see under images, you have his pictures. You can just right click on anyone and copy the image address. So when you copy the image address, you can now use the link in your CodePen. So that's basically how CodePen works. You can't upload images to CodePen. So yeah, that is it for that question. Then the other question says, how do I display code in my browser? So I got this question is actually a question from today's responses, right? So the person said, I don't know if the person is in this class, but I hope the person is here. The person asked how to use live server. So it's actually very easy. You just have to have live server installed, right? And you can get live server installed by clicking on extensions, right? So when you click on an extension, just search live server. And you can see here that I have this one from Ritwick Day, right? And I have it installed and I have it enabled, right? So you just need to install it and enable it. Once you install and enable it, you can automatically use it on your VS Code, right? So use it on your VS Code. You just, after you write what you want to write, after typing in what you want to type, you don't click on live server here or here. You click it on you activate live server on the HTML page. So you just right click and then you do open with live server, right? So let me just have something in here. So I can do an H1. So this doesn't look so good. So I'm just going to Control A, right? Highlight everything and I'm going to format this. I'm going to format this document using Prettier code formatter. And this looks better. This looks better. So now I'm going to open this with live server by just right clicking. So if you want to use live server or you want to use Prettier, you right click, you can see format documents with. This is if you want to use Prettier. If you want to use live server, you open with live server. And once you open with live server, you now have your HTML document displaying in your browser. So that's like the really simple step. That's just how to do it. Those are the steps. Yeah, so I'm going to answer the next question. And the next question says, how can I create a folder on my VS Code, right? So if I'm getting this question, it therefore means that maybe the person has not like started using VS Code, but that's fine. It's a beginner-friendly cohort, so every question is acceptable so long it's about front end. So for VS Code, I already have this. I have my files here, but for you to create a file in VS Code, normally you would always have to create a folder, right? So you have to create a folder. And if you see, I can create new folder here, right? I can create new folder here. Let me do something. I can create new folder here, but this folder is inside this existing folder. So the way you can do it, right? You can just come to your file explorer, right? You go to your file explorer and create a folder for yourself. So you can create a folder in whatever place you want to create it in. So let's say I want to create in my desktop. Let's say I want to create my desktop. So I'm just going to right click here, right? All right, click here and click on new. So it says new folder. So I'll click on this folder here and I'll give my folder a name, right? I'll see it here. This is the new folder. So I'm just going to give it a name. I'm going to edit the name of this new folder. Where is my new folder? So I'm just going to edit the name, this one. I'm going to click on rename, right? So I'm just going to name this Vic. Let's name this Vic, right? So now I have a folder, right? I can now open this folder on my VS Code. So let's assume that I don't have this folder here. Let me remove this folder from this workspace. So I've removed that. You can see that it just says open folder, right? I can't really create a folder from scratch here. So I'm just going to open the folder I already created. So since I created my folder in desktop, if you created it in documents or downloads, you can switch it here, but I created mine in desktop. So I'm just going to search in desktop and call Vic, right? So I'm going to add Vic to my VS Code. And now I have Vic folder here. So it is now inside this Vic folder that I can now start adding HTML folder, right? Like index.html and so on, and index.css, index.js, right? After opening the folder in my file, in my file manager, right? So that's like one way to add files to VS Code. So if you don't want to do it that way, if you don't want to add a folder to your VS Code that way, you can do this. You can do this using the command line. So I'm just going to remove this folder from this workspace and add my other folder. So that's just like a way of doing it. But the most recent ways to use your terminal. So you can just click on this terminal here, right? Let's say you have this already. You can use your command line to do this, but I'm just going to use the VS Code terminal. So I'm just going to open a terminal here. I'm going to create a folder here. So you can see here that I already have myself. I am inside the intro folder, right? You can see this directory. I am inside this directory. I'm inside user/user. I'm inside intro, the intro folder, this intro folder you're seeing here. I am here, and this intro folder is inside the desktop folder, and this desktop folder is inside user, and this user is inside users, right? So it's not going to make any sense for me to create my folder inside this place. So I will have to navigate out. I want to create my folder in desktop, right? So to create my folder in desktop, I'll navigate out. So to navigate out of this current directory, you just use the cd ... It just takes you out of this directory. It takes you out of intro. So right now, I'm not inside this folder anymore, right? I am inside desktop, the general space where so many of my folders are. I'm inside desktop, right? So I want to create my file inside the desktop. If I don't want to create my file inside the desktop, I can go out again, right? I can do cd go out, right? And I can now like maybe enter somewhere else, because I can now check, I can check the available folders. I can enter, right? I can do the dir And you can see here that in under user, I have this, I have desktop, contacts, I have document, I have download. So I can enter any of this place and create my folder, right? If I want to create my folder in downloads now, right? I can just navigate in there and create my folder, right? So for me to just navigate inside desktop, I will just do the dir directory. That is open the directory. What did I name it as? Open the directory, downloads. So downloads. Oh, this is actually giving me my downloads. Let's say I want to go into this is giving me my downloads. Okay, I didn't actually want to open downloads. Documents. So let me enter the document directory, right? Documents. Check this. Documents. So I don't know what's wrong with this. So I'm inside document right now. Supposed to enter document. I have this is what I have in documents. So I don't know what's wrong with my terminal today, but I'm going to try this again. So I'm just going to go out of here. For you to go out, use the cd dot dots. And so let's say I'm creating, I want to create my folder inside this desktop, right? I want to create a new folder inside desktop. So I'm just going to use the make directory, right? mkdir. This just simply means make directory. And I'm going to name this directory. This directory just simply means I'm actually creating a folder, right? I'm creating a folder. So make directory, I can name this Zuri class, right? So I'm in desktop right now and I'm making directory Zuri class, right? So if I enter this, just create a folder for me called Zuri class, right? Create a folder for me called Zuri class. And now I can navigate into Zuri class. I created Zuri class, but I'm not inside there already. So I can now enter Zuri class by doing the cd Zuri class. Oh. This is what I was doing wrong. I was actually doing dir and the name. I'm supposed to type in cd and the name. That was my mistake. So I want to enter into the Zuri class folder right now. So I'm just going to change directory to Zuri class. dir actually gives you what is inside a particular part, right? So if I use dir, it means I'm asking my terminal to show me what is inside the path, right? So, but cd actually changes the directory. It takes me into a specified directory. So now that I'm doing cd Zuri class, it actually takes me inside Zuri class. So if I enter this, now I'm in Zuri class. If I come out of this by doing the cd dot, I'll go out of the Zuri class. If I do the cd dot dot again, I'll go out of desktop and I can now enter. If I do that again, I will go out of user, right? So if I want to, I can like go out from any document I want using the cd dot dot full stop full stop. Then if I want to enter back, I'll just use the cd and indicate the name of the folder I want to go into. So cd user, now I'm in user, and I can now cd desktop. Now I'm in desktop. I can now cd again, change directory, Zuri class. And I should be in Zuri class now. So now I'm in Zuri class. I can now, for me to open a new VS Code workspace, I can just simply do code dot. Just tell VS Code that, okay, please open another workspace for me. I want to start coding in my folder. So if I enter this, it's just going to create this. So you can see that VS Code has opened on that window for me. And now this window has the Zuri class folder. And then inside here, I can now start doing what I want. Maybe I want index.html. If I want index.html, I can add as much file as I want. I can add my index.css and so on, just what you basically need. And then you can start coding in. So that's basically a way you can, open a new folder in your VS Code. So you can open it using the command line, right? Or you can, do it the old way by open a folder first and then adding the folder to your workspace. But normally, if you're not creating a folder from scratch, let's say you are finished working on a particular folder and then you close your VS Code. So let's say you close your VS Code. VS Code normally will save your work, right? Even if I close this my VS Code right now. Let me just clear my terminal. You can clear your terminal using clear. So let's say if I close my VS Code right now and I open my VS Code again. Okay, I have two VS Code windows. So if I open my VS Code again, see that the last folder I worked on will be there. So you can see that it's here. But let's say you actually worked on another folder and you want to work on a previous folder or you want to change the folder, right? You can just easily add the folder to the workspace, right? So that's it basically. That's how to add your folder how to create a new folder. Okay, so I'm just going to go to the next question. The question says, I have a lot of questions today. It says how to make the subject stay under the subject in the table assignment. In the table assignment. So I'm just going to explain this using CodePen itself. So I have my CodePen here. I'm going to clear this off. I have my CodePen here. So let's say we are creating the table, right? The table. So to create the table, you just put the table table tag. Come inside there. You have the C head, right? The table head. You also have the table body. And you also have the table foot. So this is the structure of my table, right? It is now inside the T-head that I will do I'll put my, so I'm just showing the structure of a table. I'm not really going to do so much about it, but a table has the T-head, table has the T-head, the T-body, and the T-foot. So the T-head is just basically the heading of the table, right? So I just want to explain this part of the assignments. Let me just open that in. Open the assignment of, why am I logging out? So this place says that your table should have serial number, student, subject, and total scores. And some people are asking me, okay, so if the table is having just serial number, student, subject, and total scores as column, then how if it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, if it's just 4 columns, then how would they like fix in the students, the subjects, right? The number of subjects. So the subjects column, right? So I'm just going to explain that. So let's say I'm just going to explain this using a very small table. So let's say we have here TH, we have a T head, and I name this S/N. I'm going to close this up. Always close your tab, right? So let's say I have this, and yeah, I have, let's make it 4. So I have here SN, students, subjects, and total scores, right, according to the assignment. And now under subjects, we have about five different subjects, right? We have about 5 different subjects. So now, first of all, we have 4 columns, right? It means that inside our T body, our rows still have to have 4 columns, right? So I'm just going to make just one row, like one extra row to make it. Okay, this is supposed to be in TR. This thing was not ever correct. So I'm just going to make one row here. Right. So the first one had 4 columns, right? The first one had 4 columns. So I'm just going to give this 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So you can see now that I have 4 columns, right? And 2 rows, right? So now, since the subject is about 5 subjects, what you can now do, since we asked you to actually create just 4 columns, you can now column span to make subjects contain like 5 columns, right? So you can give subjects here a call span, a call span of 5, right? If you give it a call span of 5, it means that this place now have about 8 columns, right? Because it's now 1, 2. This one is 5. 5 plus 2, that's 7. Plus 1 again, that's 8. Meaning that row 1 has 8 columns, right? So we have to adjust row 2 to have 8 columns too. So we can just come here and add the extra 8 columns. Make it 8 columns, I mean. So I'm just going to give this. So we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we need another one to make it 8. So obviously you can see that now we still have 4 columns, right? Looking at the table, we have 4 columns, but under subjects, you now have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns under subject. So this is a way you can make your table work, right? You can use column span, right? So this subject, the subject heading, the subject column is now spanning 5 columns, right? It's spanning 5 columns. So looking at the table overall, you still have a table of 4 columns, but now it's now like having different columns under subjects. So this way, you can now like start putting, let's just add an extra row, right? Let's add an extra row. So I'm just going to duplicate this, right? Duplicate this. Just copy. And then let's give this an extra row. So you can see this, right? So I can now come here now and start editing my work. So we gave you guys SN to be numbers, right? SN is numbers. So under the first SN, I have 1. Under this one, I'll have 2, right? Number 2. Then I can now have my names here, right? Can now have Ubi. Here I can have Amaka. Amaka, right? And then let's assume that the total score now is just like the summation of all this, right? Summation of 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So let's assume that that summation gives us 100, right? It means that we just come here for the first one. The summation actually gives us 100. this to one. We'll change this to, let's say the first one gives us an addition of 200. And this is it. I've created a table, right? I've created a table and the table looks so okay. So under subject, so normally what I would do, I'm not going to like start adding things directly like this, right? I can have here as I can change this number 3 now to subjects, right? The subject names, right? This 3 can be English, this 4 can be biology, according to the subjects that was given. So you just put in the subject name here, put in the subject name here, put in the subject name here, just like that, right? And then you can now like start giving the numbers from, you can now start adding your student name and numbers from this second line while you leave this this one for the subjects, right? So you can see that it's actually looking nice, right? So that is basically it for those that have that that is confused about that. So the next question says, I'm going to check that right now. The next question says, the heading, does the heading refer to normal heading? If the heading in the question refers to normal heading. So you can see here that this is our table. I have the T head and I have T body, right? All this is my T body, right? And I have T foot. So this T foot will be like where you put your conclusion, your like total, maybe, I don't know. Let me check the table again. It says, a table for Mr. Ade. So at the footer, at the T foot, you can maybe do something extra. Maybe you can just like sum everything up like this, sum everything up like this, sum everything up and put it at the T foot. So that's like, if you want to do that, right? So, but for this question now, it says heading should contain details about the school, teacher, and class. So what we mean heading should contain, we just mean the heading of the table. Just the way you have a standard table, the table should have an heading at least. What are you doing? What are you doing? So you can just come here and just use the normal heading tag. So let's say I'm using the H6 tag. I'm just going to put in the H6 there. Right, and I'm just going to say Mr. Ade teach the school class. I'm just going to say Mr. Ade of Benedict. Say Benedict High School. Benedict High School. Let me just do this SS1 class. So just be skillful about what you're doing. So what exactly is wrong with, oh, I'm using H6. Let me use H1, please. H6 is so small. So you can see, I've given this an heading. So this is the kind of heading we're talking about. So you can be skillful and, give your heading. You can maybe make your heading more better. This is just an example. So Mr. Ade of Benedict High School, SS1 class. So, right, so that is just the heading we're actually referring to. So it is not T-Ed. We're not referring to T-Ed for this. Heading should contain details about the school. So the heading should just contain details about the school. And here we said ensure the heading element has an ID attribute. So that's actually very simple. We already know how ID attribute works. Use ID attributes in CSS. So you can just give your H1 an ID attribute. So you just come to ID equals to, you can just name it heading, right? And you have given this an ID attribute. It's as simple as that. As simple as that. So yeah, you should span 2 rows. So the next question says, ensure the heading refers to normal distance. So ensure. So the next question, somebody asks, what does it mean to include a link to the biography for the tribute page? So the link simply means a biography simply just tells us more about the person that you are admiring. So you can write about the person in the tribute page, but you may not be able to write about every single thing about the person. So you can just add a biography. So let's say you're writing about Queen Elizabeth. Let's say you're writing about Queen Elizabeth. So and just search Queen. No. You can just search Queen Elizabeth's biography. So you just search this. Google has everything. So when you search this, you can now see the biography is just basically more on Queen Elizabeth, more on Queen Elizabeth. So you can just click this one now. Right? You don't even need to click it. You can just okay, it's already open. So you can just copy the link here. Right? This is the link to the biography. So in your in your CodePen, you basically just add, right? If it's the tribute page you are working on, so you just add the A tag, right? And you can just put something like click here to see biography, right? You click here to see biography. So you just add your A tag and href with the link in it. And simple, you have added biography. So if you scroll down, you can see here that it says you can see that it says click here to see biography. And if I click that now, it takes me to the biography, right? Biography.com. This is just network issues, right? So, but that's just simple. That's just how to add a biography. So the next question says, should I use an ordered list or an unordered list? So the question, let me just open the tags up, and so the tribute page question says, the question says, a tribute page is an overview of someone you like. Add a description to an image caption. You should include a timeline of multiple things. You should have a list of 10 items. The link. So the question just says you should have a list of 10. You should have at least 10 list items. So you did not like specify what kind of list you should use. But the thing is, if you're actually, maybe you're writing something that has to do with priority, maybe you're talking about your priorities in life, right? You can use an ordered list, right? An ordered list, since it numbers your work. So I'm just going to clear this. I'll clear this off. Let me just use my VS Code. So if you're writing something about, if you are listing your priorities in life, you can just use the ordered list, since it gives your work number, right? It numbers your work. So if you use the ordered list now, it just like shows that, okay, in this order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But the unordered list, it does not like show any order, right? It does not like show any order. It's just there, like it assumes that everything is in the same order. So it's unordered from the name, is unordered, right? So to use ordered and unordered list is just for you to put the UL. UL means unordered list, OL means ordered list, right? So when you put the OL or the UL, you now put the list inside, right? So you can see that I have, this is an ordered list and this is an unordered list. So this ordered list can, you can use it to give your readers a sense of priority. So you can write, maybe you're writing about something about your hobby, let's say, or a priority, my priorities in life. You can number them. The person automatically knows that, oh, your first priority is eating apples. The second priority is eating mango. But on the other list, it means it has no order, in no specific order. It's just there that these are just the things you like eating. There's no like specific order. So that is just what it means. So in your form, you can use any kind of, you can use either on ordered list or ordered list, depending on what you feel like. We did not talk about anything concerning priorities, so just use what you feel like. So this place says, so your work, if the description must come before the picture, if the picture must come before the description in your tribute tags, the main thing is that just add all the requirements in there. Anyhow you want to structure your work, if you want to put your image first, you want to put your image last, it should just make sense, right? And it should have all the requirements. So anyhow you want to design your page, but it should have every single thing we have requested of you all, from you all. So if you can't see, if you cannot see new tags, please just know that you have not registered for the course, because you can register for general course and not register for your front-end course. So you want to make sure that you have registered for your front-end course too. If not, it means that you're not registered for front-end and you will not see the post for front-end. So I already explained column span in the office hour I had on Monday. Please just check that office hour out, or you can check the resources. I explained in details what column span is and how to use it, right? In the second video, more on HTML, right? Please check that video and you'll get all your answers. So this is insert the scores in the various subjects. Yes, so please under the scores, under the subject column, insert the scores, under total scores, sum it up and put in the summation there, right? The summation there. So if you use CodePen, it may not show because it is the last column. It doesn't matter. Just put the CodePen there, right? It may not show in size because it is the last column and it's just the last column, So it doesn't matter. Just make sure you use the CodePen. So if your extensions are not working, kindly uninstall your extensions and install them back. So the person that asked me why did she get 0.5 from our work, right? We have said it before and we have said it countless number of times. You can't submit a closed work and expect me to grade it. The work was closed. I did not have access to it, and hence the score you got. So this person says, how do I use fig caption, block quotes, and strong? So basically, I already explained this, but I'm just going to quickly do. I'm just going to quickly do a demonstration. So I want to use the strong keyword, right? So let's say I have a paragraph here, and I'm like, hello, people. I can use a strong here to emphasize that, okay, these people is something meaningful, right? I can use a strong here. I can use a strong here, right? If I go to my browser now, you can see that hello, people. People is now like thicker, is now bold. That's just what strong does. For figure, right? Figure is simply, as the name implies, figure, it actually marks up figures. Figures means picture, it marks up figures, like marks up your photos. So let's say we use figure here, right? So the way you can use figure, you can just do the, so you can just do the figure tag. So the figure just marks up photos, right? So inside the figure, you now have to put in your image, the image you want to display. It marks it up. So you put in the source. I already have one picture, yes, I can just use that, right? My picture, right? I'm just going to close the image. And then fig caption just means caption your figure, right? Give your figure a caption. What is this figure showing? So I can just give that a fig caption. This is just simply how to use the tags. I can just give that a fig caption of I am Victoria, right? This is how to use figure and fig caption. So if I don't use figure, I want to show you the difference. This is what we display. So I'm displaying these two pictures without using one with figure and one without figure. Right. So if I come back here now, what the hell is this? Oh yeah. So you can see now, you can see here, this is what figure does for you. The figure tag just marks up your figure. You can see here that this is my picture, right? And you can see that this place has this margin, right? But you can see here this one does not have any margin. This is the difference. So this one just makes it look better. And this is the fig caption here. This is the caption of my image. Very simple. So that's just how to use it. So you can just, use it in your tribute page. So you put the figure, put the image inside, put the fig caption for the image, and you close it up, right? So I'm going to take this away. So how to use block quotes? Block quotes, as the name implies, quotes. It just means you're taking word for word from a particular site. So block quotes simply means you're taking word for word from a particular site. So I am Victoria. And Victoria is a girl, right? So this is I am Victoria is a girl now. Let's say I am taking this thing from a particular site online. I'm just going to put the site there, right? Yeah, I'm just going to put the site. Where am I getting this text from? So I can just put the site there. Let me just say, I don't have any site to put. I'm just going to put the hash there.